Hello, this is my second video of a series I want to be exploring on my YouTube channel, talking about life lessons someone as young as me has learned, considering the chronic illness I've been suffering with that has made me housebound for 5 years. And the second thing I want to talk about today is toxic people, or whether you have become a toxic person. One thing that started to grow in me more and more as time went on is a self-feeling of being more important than other people around me. I didn't realise it for a very long time. But yeah, I think because I got so ill and I saw a lot of the people who were my friends leave me, and I saw a lot of people who stayed with me, as my best friend Ed and my old ex-partner. I would unknowingly, because I was in such a devastated place in my life, I would unknowingly be toxic to them. For instance, to my best friend Ed, I would do things like be his friend 1 minute, and if I didn't agree with something he did he did something that I didn't agree with, my response to it would be so dramatic, and I wouldn't be friends with him for a couple of months or something along those lines. Or it was like I thought my time was more important than his, because, well, I can not be your friend for a couple of months and not speak to you, but when I want to be friends with you again, you will be friends with me, type of thing like that. With my ex-partner, it would be nearly everything, to be honest. She was with me chronically. She was with me all the time. And yeah, with her, it completely jeopardised her life. I only literally have started realising that I had become a toxic person now that she's left. But yeah, I would do things like, if you asked me, she had to tiptoe around me. I would be either angry one day or bitter the next day, and all her energy would go towards making sure that I'm okay, which then gave her no time to make sure that she was okay, and which gave me no time to be there for her. Everything revolved around whether everything was okay for me, and because of that, nothing was okay for me, because ultimately we were both hurting each other, because she was trying to be there for me by making sure that everything around me is what I consider good, or easier, and that she had no time for herself. On the last couple of, I would say, 6 months of a relationship, she literally wasn't, I had no idea I was doing it, but she literally wasn't eating properly, she wasn't sleeping properly, she wasn't seeing her friends and family. I had quite negative responses about her family at one point, and I think it made her, I would moan about her family, I'd moan about my family, and I think it made her quite isolated, and I wasn't acknowledging that she needed her family, and she needed her friends, and she needed to have time away. So yeah, I guess that's what this is really talking about, is when you go through something that you would consider incredibly hard, you might unknowingly turn into the thing that you're feeling, because you might be feeling bitter, you might be feeling sad, and you might be feeling angry, and you've got to be careful, and you've got to not let yourself hide away from the fact that you might actually be becoming toxic yourself. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it, really. I mean, to conclude again, one thing, everybody's going through something, and you're no more important than others. You are no more important than others. Like, I so struggle with stuff like that. I'm so wrapped up in here that I really struggle with differentiating importance, because obviously I'm me, and it's hard to and because I'm going through so much that it's hard to have the empathy. I lost so much empathy through the years, but yeah, just you've got to be careful about being a toxic person because it can happen, um, and really try and understand what that could be doing to the people who love you and are sticking by you, because you might lose them because of your bitterness of the feeling you're having. So yeah, what I want to end this with is love yourself, care for yourself. If you're feeling depressed, anxiety, emotional, reach out to people that you love. Make sure you're there for them as well. And do things that make you feel good. Do things that will make you feel happy. And yeah, okay. See you.